Hi, my name is Adriana Lopez and I'll be talking about Latin square design. Latin square designs are used to simultaneously control two sources of variability. It is a type of comparison test. The standard form of a Latin square design is rows and columns in natural order. There are equal amount of rows and columns for a Latin square design, and it is used to reduce the amount of nuisance. A researcher is allowed to control the variation in an experiment that is related to both rows and columns, and with this you can control variation in two directions, with repetitive exposure and treatments, and it removes the variation of two variables from error variation. The uses in probability and statistics are mainly to reduce the amount of randomness in a test, and it's used to control two variables, as I had said before. Each experiment receives one treatment. For example, if there are n types of treatments, the experiment will last n number of periods. The advantages of Latin square designs is that a researcher is allowed to control two variables at the same time, and each experiment will receive treatment once, as I have said prior to this. And the comparison between the tests is made easier, and ideal for scenarios for which an experiment needs measure in each variable under different treatments. And meaning this can also have a treatment is preceded by every other treatment. Now, if we were to go to my first image, which is how we use Latin square designs in agriculture, they're used mostly for actual agricultural purposes, and as you can see, an agricultural worker can utilize this type of design to regulate plant treatments according to the plant type. I devised an experiment based on irrigation levels and types of soils. For this experiment, the soil type and level of irrigation are both being controlled. Latin square designs enable the researchers to find the optimum level of plant growth. Medicinal purposes can also utilize Latin square designs. Experimentally, I've used this to where you can both control the treatment and the blood type. In this particular example, artificial treatments could be used for different types of diseases as seen in this graph. And lastly, I would like to show you how to do it in engineering. In regards to wireless connections in theme parks, Latin square designs could be implemented in order to find the optimum area where the Wi-Fi functions best. As you can see in this below, where I used it in Magic Kingdom in relation to different parks. In engineering, it is mostly used for civil engineering, as you can see with the agricultural purposes, and it allows comparisons between alternatives of different materials and experiments and see which one works best, and it is an efficient way to test projects.